Good morning all for today's webinar. Etiquettes cost nothing but are worth a lot. Keeping this Sri Damodar College of Commerce and Economics, Margao, Goa has organized this webinar on the topic etiquettes. Before we start, I would like to request all the students to put off their videos and keep their mics off till further instructions. If you all have any questions, you can post it in the chat box. Now, I request Ms. Simran Endra, a student of FY BCom, to introduce our resource person.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It gives me immense pleasure to introduce the resource person for today, Caroline Stewart Silva, a professional life coach with strong communication and organizational skills. She's an art graduate from Mumbai University and has successfully completed a diploma in travel and tourism and hotel management. Ms. Silva has 19 years of work experience in which she trained staff of hotels like Taj Hotels Goa, automobile companies such as Ford, Honda Cars, Volkswagen, Kakulo JCB, and the retail sector consisting of the Kakulo Mall and West Side Apparels. Currently, she has started her own initiative, Impact Training Solutions, a life skill training institute which has successfully conducted workshops for various high secondary schools, colleges, professional institutes, and corporate companies such as Cipla, Vedanta, Blue Star, Delton Institute of Learning, M the Business Hotel, and many more. I, Simran Andhra, on behalf of the college and students, welcome you, ma'am, for the webinar.
Thank you very much, Simran. That was very clearly read. You have a very nice voice. And thank you, Marzina. I welcome you all once again to this beautiful webinar that your college has organized. I call it beautiful because it's a wonderful topic that they have chosen to share with you. Uh, Please be patient enough in the sense I do understand that I will give you a break in between, not to worry. But the best thing that we can do is to try and be interactive, share your thoughts, share your ideas. Okay, if there's something you want to add, just raise your hand. You know how it's done, right? So just do that so that we can make this session as interesting as possible. Yeah, because online we are limited to doing so many things that we would have done if we met in person. Yeah, we could have had so many activities, etc. But anyways, I hope all of you are keeping safe and keeping well. Continue doing so, please. So without further ado, we will be starting. I will be sharing my screen with you in a short while. There is something I wish to tell you though. I am having a lot of trouble with my internet connection today. I apologize for that. And if there is an issue where you suddenly hear my voice going off, or you cannot, or it's breaking up, or there is some connectivity issue, then kindly stop or message me in the inbox immediately, okay, so that I can leave and join back again, or make the necessary corrective measures. All right. So can I be heard now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. I'd like the students to answer as well, okay? Try and get that comfort level so that we can make this interesting for yourselves especially, and for myself as well. All right, so I'm going to start sharing my screen right now. I want you to know if you can all see my screen. Okay, can my screen be seen right now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, very good. Thank you, Simran. All right, so let's start.
Yes, ma'am. You can see.
Great. Now, please don't misunderstand or don't think otherwise. I'm sure all of us have been brought up with very good mannerisms and a very good behavior. Okay, I'm sure all of us, our parents have taught us, our teachers have taught us as we have grown up from the time we are small. However, we are now entering into the corporate world, right? You are the first year students, right? If I'm not wrong. So you have another maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years to go before you might start working. Some of you might already be working. And that's the reason why we thought we would get into this topic, because etiquette is a different level of mannerisms. It's a different height altogether. And you would only be able to achieve it if you have the will to achieve it, if you want to do it. Yeah, that's very important. So please try not to have that attitude, oh, I know what is going to be spoken, I know all this. Okay, sometimes we don't do it. Okay, we don't exercise the required etiquette, and we don't realize it if somebody else does not do it. Then we say, my goodness, what bad manners, how badly he's behaving, or can't he do this, can't he do that, whatever, right? If somebody else does it, then we realize that it's bad manners. But we sometimes don't realize that we are doing it ourselves. Okay, and that is where we need to um, put a stop to it, and we need to check ourselves. So I'm sure all of us want to be respected, all of us want to be admired for the kind of person that we are. And we're not putting it on, right? We're showing something that is going to become a part of our lives. It's not going to be something that we're doing only for the outside world. We're going to start it from home as well. So, so if you want to be respected, if you want to be admired, if you want to be a leader, yeah, a leader has very good etiquette to begin with, should have very good etiquette, because a leader is who? A leader is someone who leads the way, and the others follow, or the others mimic his behavior, his or her behavior. So in order to be a good leader, the first thing you should have, or one of the most important things that you should have, is good etiquette and manners. All right, so let's start. Just a little bit before we actually get into the actual details, a few very important and treasured sayings by very famous people all over the world. So here we have Clarence Thomas. He's a lawyer working at the Supreme Court in the United States of America, a very high position. And he says, good manners will open the doors that the best education cannot. Isn't that so true, guys? Yeah, I'm not saying close up all your books and don't study. But what I'm trying to say is, what Clarence Thomas is trying to say is that if you have all your certificates in hand, but you don't have your basic mannerisms, that's really not going to get you very far. And especially today in the corporate world, people are not looking. Of course, your qualifications are important. Of course, your degrees are important. But in addition to that, people are also giving a lot of emphasis to the soft skills. And etiquette is one of the topmost important soft skills that a person should possess. So if you don't have these basic things in place, all right, so you are going to be looked at very differently, and you will not get that many opportunities as you should be getting. So that's what Clarence Thomas has to say. Thomas Sewell, he's an American economist, and he is also a philosopher and an author. He says, politeness and consideration for others is like investing, okay, I'll put it in Indian terms, is in like investing paises and getting rupees back in return. Okay, so investing pennies and getting dollars back in return. So it doesn't cost you anything to be well mannered. It doesn't cost you anything to have good etiquette, but the returns that you will get for it will be much bigger, much better, and definitely much more beneficial for your growth. Okay, so very well said by Thomas Sewell. Mr. John Wanamaker is an American merchant and a very famous political figure. He says, courtesies cannot be borrowed like snow shovels. You must have some of your own. You can borrow so many things in life, right? But you cannot borrow courtesies. Courtesies, mannerisms have to be your own, right? Fine. So having said that, having looked at what these famous men have to say, let me ask you a few questions. You don't have to really answer them aloud. You can think about it as I'm asking you these questions. How would you feel? Can I be heard, by the way? Can I still be heard clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Again, please tell me once if at all there's a problem. Okay, so as I said, please think about these questions as I'm asking you. Okay, deep insight, a little deep introspection. Think about the times how you would feel if someone talked to your friend but turned his or her back on you. So you and your friend are talking, excuse me, someone comes in, they're talking to your friend or the person that you were talking to, and they just turn their back on you. How would you feel? How would you feel if someone pushed you out of the way to get the seat that you were about to sit on? Or someone takes your parking space as you were about to park into that particular area? Someone just comes and zooms in and grabs your parking place. How would you feel? Or if someone slams the door in your face as you were about to walk through. So someone in front of you has already opened the door and walked through. You're about to go through and someone just lets the door slam in your face. Or how would you feel if someone shared your things but never shared anything of theirs? I don't mean to say materialistically, I mean even their lives, their thoughts, their feelings. Okay, how would you feel? How would you feel if someone never said, please, excuse me, or thank you? We take these words, these phrases so much for granted today, right? How would you feel if someone pretended to be your friend but gossiped behind you, behind your back? Yeah, happens so often, isn't it? Especially here in Goa. We have so much time for all this that what we should be spending time on, we are not, but we have a lot of time for this kind of thing. Okay, so how would you feel if someone did this to you? How would you feel if someone pushed and shoved you in a crowded place or jumped a line? I used to be traveling to Honda, the company that I was working for, by bus. Honda is in Verna, yeah. But before I actually started driving a car, I used to use the bus, and I used to be wearing, our uniform was a sari. So I used to be wearing a sari, and I had my laptop, and I had my lunch bag, and I had my handbag. Okay, and the moment the bus would come, everybody would just shove and squeeze and push, and it was really terrible. So I would be inside the bus and all my bags would be outside the bus. So how would you feel if someone did this to you? Or made chomping sounds while eating, or spilling food particles on the table? This is the prerogative or the right only of babies, no, and small children. Once you grow up, you do not have the right to do these kind of things. So how would you feel if someone else was doing this in front of you? And last but not the least, how would you feel if someone uses the toilet and leaves it the way it is, as you see in the picture, before you use it? How would you feel, right? We already have experienced all these things that I've shown you, we've already experienced, yes? And I'm asking you, how do you feel at that moment? You don't have to tell me, you have to just think of the answer in your mind, yeah? We grumble, we curse, we get angry when we enter a public toilet and we see the way that it is left behind, yeah? So basically, this is what you need to think about. This is what etiquette is all about. It's about how you make the other person feel. Because if that person had to do the same thing to you, how would you feel? And I'm sure none of us sitting here today listening to this webinar would say, oh, ma'am, I'm fine with it. I don't mind walking into a dirty toilet, or I don't mind a person sitting and going chomp, chomp, chomp and letting his food fall all over the place. I don't think any of us can say that today. Yeah. So etiquette is nothing but considering the feelings of other people and being the kind of person that others will like and respect. Okay, I'm talking about, you don't have to be liked for doing the wrong things, but definitely you should be liked for doing the right things, and you should be respected for that as well. So in order to the very famous saying, in order to gain respect, the first thing you have to give respect. And a very beautiful example of this kind of a person is the ex-president of the United States of America. Well, not Donald Trump, but definitely Barack Obama. Yeah, a very beautiful example of perfect etiquette, consideration for others, and respect for others. That man, even though he was the most powerful man in the whole world, yeah, the president of the United States, even then he had basic mannerisms and etiquette and respect for people. So if he can do it, I'm sure we can as well. Um, some of the common mistakes that we make when we when we consider what we consider as poor etiquette, you may not even realize it, but these are the common mistakes that we make. Listening skills. Yeah, some of us are only pretending to listen while someone's talking. We are doing actually something else. So that itself is bad manners. Disregard of shared property and other space. So disregard of any place that you go to, whether it be your college, whether it be the local transport, whether it is a restaurant you go to, any place, okay, but you do not treat with respect or you do not have regard for, is termed as bad manners. Embarrassing others. I've noticed that in this generation, Gen X, that we have, very often we are very um, happy to be embarrassing others about their personal appearance, about their color, about the way they speak, etc. Kindly note, guys, it is very bad etiquette to be commenting on someone's personal appearance, okay, about what kind of clothes they are wearing, or what kind of outfit, or what kind of how they're looking today. Okay, it is, even though you might be very close to somebody, that is not the right thing to do. Poor table manners, okay, inappropriate praise of others, where you don't really mean what you are saying. Inappropriate language, okay. When I talk about inappropriate language, I mean bad language, guys. Bad language can never be considered etiquette and can never be in fashion. Foul language is always out of fashion. What's in is using decent, the correct, and the appropriate words. Okay. So if you think that you are using that word and that you are very stylish about it, I'm sorry, my friends, it might be stylish in front of your friends, but it's not the same when you actually start going into the corporate world or into social life. Disregard of others' time, very important. So I first of all thank and I appreciate each one of you for being on time, because sometimes, especially here in Goa, we don't really care about what others about others' time. Yeah, so we always have this Goan standard time, and always turning up late for functions, for events, for college, for work. Yeah, so that's called disregard of others' time. That means you don't respect other people's time. Inappropriate dress and grooming for the required occasion, very, very important. Misuse of the telephone, which we do again very often, and failure to greet someone appropriately. Just look at the small things that come under good etiquette. You might think to yourself, ma'am, what is this? This is like total discipline. This is like punishment. Well, discipline is not a punishment. Discipline is required everywhere, and that's what makes you stand differently apart from other people. Because other people will say, Arey, why all these formalities? We are what we are, and there's no point in changing. We are fine as we are. We are happy as we are. That's fine. But if you decide to go into the corporate world, which all of you are, I'm sure, then that's where the difference comes in between you and other people. And the difference will be noticed, will be taken into account by your seniors and your managers. So if you really want to make the difference, then please stay here with us and as we continue this presentation. So before we go any further, please know that there are we call it the 4 magic words of etiquette. Thank you, sorry, please, and excuse me. Yeah, very often we should try to use this as often as possible in the right manner for the right reasons and make it a part of our lives. Okay. Very often my friends, when I thank them, they say, "Arey kya yaar formality, itna formality." It's not a formality. It's just a good, first of all, it's good manners, of course. And secondly, it's a way of showing your appreciation. Now, the term "excuse me" can be used for many different kind of situations. When I go to the market, and the market in Margao, the big, huge vegetable market, I mean, like, people are just standing in the way there. They don't really care about others. And if you just say "excuse me," everyone turns and looks at you like, "Oh my God, like, who's this? Like, why is she using such uh, high flown language?" But it's not. You're just, instead of pushing the person, you're just saying "excuse me." Yeah. So please remember these four words of magic words of etiquette, and try to use them as let us know that etiquette begins at home. Yeah. So what you normally do at home is what you would normally portray to the outside world. Please do not be one thing at home and another thing to the outside world. Yeah, that's the worst thing that could happen. So if you want to be a good person outside with good mannerisms, make sure that it starts from home. So in your homes, please make sure that you have your clothes in place, that you do not throw your things around the place for your mother to pick up. You're big enough now, you're old enough, you're an adult, and you have to start doing things for yourself. Yeah. Anything that's empty, don't put it back in the fridge. Make sure that it goes to its respective place, which is the dustbin or the recycle bin or whatever it is. No peeping into other people when they are on the phone. Please learn to ask when you borrow when you want to borrow something, rather than just take it for granted. "Oh, this is my brother's bike key, he won't mind." No, it is always good to ask. Yeah. Being considerate to the elderly people, to the sick people in your home, and helping out with chores. Yeah. So this is not a lecture to tell you what you should be doing or should not be doing, but these are the good mannerisms that help us to grow as a person, so that we can show the same thing when we go outside. It comes naturally to us. We don't have to put on a show. It comes naturally. And the last but most important thing is to wait at the dining table until and unless everyone has finished. It is bad manners to leave the table and walk away. All right. So please learn to sit at the table and eat with the rest of the family. So far, any questions? Anything that you would like to ask? Any doubts? Has anyone to say anything? Would you like to add to this? Would you like to bring up an example? Yes? No? All right. Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's move on. Remember the four magic words. We use them at home as well. Okay. So start using these words at home. Your parents might think, "Arey, what has happened to you all of a sudden?" But it's fine. It's absolutely fine. The only reason I'm saying this is because you need to start it at home in order to carry it outside. Otherwise, you will not be able to do the same. What you show outside will only be an external facade, which will not be able to hold on for long. So please start this at home. Now, the types of etiquette that we will be discussing today is social etiquette, corporate and business etiquette, and online etiquette. Yeah, so much that a very much requirement today is just because we are online, it doesn't mean that we can do what we want, say what we want, dress what we want, how we want, etc. All right. So let's start with social etiquette. When we talk about social etiquette, let us first discuss about etiquette in public places. Yeah, so there'll be a lot to discuss here. If any of you want to stop me, interrupt me, and say something, please unmute yourself and go ahead. Okay. So, what is this public places that we are referring to? We are talking about public transport, cinema halls, college, public toilets, on the roads, and even in the restaurants. Yeah, these are your public places where the following etiquette will be discussed. Now, first of all, is before we go any further, is always informing your intentions in advance. Yeah, I will be 20 minutes late. I will not be able to make it for the session. I'm not able to find the information you have asked me for. We will not be able to attend the gathering next week as we have prior commitments, etc., etc. So very important is to make use of the term called RSVP. Does anyone know what it stands for? RSVP. Anyone? Yeah, someone sent a message. No? Anyone knows what does RSVP stand for? You can unmute yourself and say it. Yes, guys? Anyone? What does RSVP stand for? Or what does it mean? No one? Okay, RSVP is actually a French term and it stands for Répondez s'il vous plaît. I'll repeat, Répondez s'il vous plaît, which means that when anyone gives you an invitation or anyone that you have to be at a certain place at a certain time, it is always good to reply whether you are coming or not. Now, I have a very quick example to share with you here. There was once an occasion that was happening in the school, my daughter's school, and she was in the 10th standard and she was in NCC, if I'm not wrong, yeah, NCC. And it was, I think, the 26th of Jan or the 15th of August, one of those days, where they had to go for, NCC had to be there for the flag hoisting. It was compulsory for them to be there in full uniform, etc. Now, for some reason, she could not go for it because we were going out station. So I had told her to inform your NCC teacher in advance. And she said, no, there's no need. If we just don't turn up and then the next day we just give in our absentee note or whatever, we'll be fine. So I said, no, please message him that you cannot make it. And she did that. And believe me, guys, I don't mean to boast just because she's my daughter, but I'm trying to make a point here, is that the NCC, the sir, okay, the next day, that was the 27th of Jan, he actually announced in front of the assembly that out of the 15 cadets who were supposed to be there, 15, there was just one who informed in advance that she could not come. And he so much appreciated that. Now, when I say stand out, guys, this is what I mean by stand out. You will be different from the rest of the crowd. Okay, so please inform your intentions in advance and make sure that it is in advance, whether you're going to be late or you cannot make it or your inability to attend or whatever the reason might be. Please make sure that you inform in advance. And especially for parties and weddings. Can you tell me why? Especially for parties and weddings. Anyone could tell me why?
Food does not get spoiled.
Very good, Yankama. Am I pronouncing it correct? Yankama?
Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful. Wonderfully said, Yankama. So that food does not go to waste. Yeah, that's the last thing that we want today, guys. You know how much people are starving on the road. And, you know, some weddings, they actually chuck it out. They just some caterers, sorry, they just chuck it out. Some people actually give it to poor homes or whatever it is. But the point is, we don't want to waste food, right? And that's one of the main reasons why you should inform your intention in advance. It's very, very crucial. Good answer. Thank you so much for replying. So let's move on. Now, when you come to again being outside, okay, public places or with friends or with people who you're going out with, cell phones, guys, be in the moment. It is so important. I have gone to restaurants where I see young teenagers, they've come to have a meal together, and all of them, they've ordered their food, whatever they want to order, and then all of them are on their mobile. So if that's the case, why do you guys come out? I don't understand the logic in this. Okay, you want to click a photograph of the food and all that kind of stuff, fair enough, that's okay. But that's it about it, right? Click a photograph of the food and stop. Okay, with technology, the problem is that technology has advanced so much that we are forgetting our root and our basic levels. And that's where the bad mannerism comes in. So if you see what this lady is telling the man there, do you mind if I strap your phone to my forehead so that I can pretend you're looking at me when I talk? So true, isn't it? So if please be, I'm even saying not even young teenagers, I've even seen adults doing it. I once saw a family of 2 adults and 2 children. The children were fine. They were eating and they were doing something. They were just being naughty or they were talking to each other, and the parents were continuously on the phone. Okay, so it's also bad manners. Yes, even if you think that you're just messaging or you're just chatting with someone, it is bad etiquette. So please do not do it. It becomes a habit. Yeah, then the moment you go to somewhere else, let's say you're going out for an office party, or your manager has said that we are meeting someone important, we need to take him for lunch, and there you are, it becomes such a habit, you just take out the phone and you start using it. Okay, so please be careful, please make sure you are in the moment. Standing in the Starbucks line, now why we just said Starbucks is just a way of expressing it, but when you are in the line and you come, when it comes to your turn to being served or whatever it is, please make sure that you put your cell phone away. Okay, cut your conversation as fast as possible and put your cell phone away, because there are people waiting behind you. Being a visitor, I know that these are etiquettes which are not common in Goa, but it is okay. We were at being a visitor. Now, I had said that although this is not a very often in Goa or something that's expected, but it's also a gesture and it's good manners. Let's say your father who's not well, you want to take a little break. So coming to getting the invitation right now, guys, this is very important because see, when we talk about social functions and things like that, of course you should not be doing it for social functions, but definitely even for corporate functions and things like that, you have to be very careful and you must read an invitation correctly and adhere to it. Now here we have the habit of doing what to etiquette in
Yes, ma'am.
college. All right. Now, there is, again, please don't consider this as a punishment. There is no such thing as a punishment. Etiquette is not a punishment, it is a discipline. All right. It is a discipline. And discipline is everywhere. You have it at home, you have it in college, you have it on the road. We don't follow the rules, that's a different thing. But it is there everywhere we go. Yeah. So the first thing is to make sure that you are on time. Okay, in college. Yeah, guys, there's no excuses. What you do in your college days, you will carry it forward to your working days as well, and you will find it very difficult to adjust afterwards. So make sure that you get into the habit of being on time. And now it's no more being on time. What is the new mantra? Does anybody knows? No? What is the new mantra? It is not the same as being on time. Now what do you have to do? Tell me, anybody. You can put it in the chat box. Is it important to be on time? Yes, come on, guys. Anybody can answer. Put it in the chat box. What is the new mantra today? Is it being on time? Okay, good. Thank you, Chrissy. Then tell me, what is the new mantra? Does anybody know? The new mantra is not about being on time. Now it's about being before time. Being on time is not a great thing anymore now in the corporate world. It's now you have to be before time. So if your work begins at 9, you have to be at work by 8:50 or 8:55, not at 9. So guys, we have a long way to go, a long way to go. So make sure that you start it from college itself to be on time. Practice common courtesies, use the words, the 4 magic words as often as possible, especially with your teachers and your classmates as well. Yeah, doesn't matter. Someone let them think if you're gone crazy. Yeah, it's okay. Avoid walking out halfway through the class. I'm sure we don't do those things. Please make sure you wait till the end of the class and till your lecturer has completed speaking. Please address your professors in a respectful manner. It is very important to use, as you're talking to them, to use their names, or not the names as such, but as we call them, ma'am or sir or whatever we call them. So when we are talking to them, it shows a matter of respect. Remember, to get respect, you have to give it. Keep that in mind all the time. And of course, plagiarism and academic integrity is something that's of very high regard in colleges. Everybody knows what plagiarism is. Anybody? Do you know what plagiarism is? Come on, guys, I need you to respond. Otherwise, it's going to be very boring. Anyone knows what plagiarism is? No? Nobody wants to guess also? We have 50 people on board with us today, and not a single person wants to guess what is plagiarism. All right, anyways. Plagiarism is nothing but copying the work of others and claiming it to be your own. So many of us today, we copy matter from the internet and we say that it is our own. Yeah, so that is it is not done. It is definitely legally wrong, as well as it is not good manners or good etiquette as well. Okay, so whatever it asks for, whether it is plagiarism, whether it is forging people's work or doing other people's work for them, completing their papers or whatever it might be, completing their assignments, all that is called academic integrity. All right, to be able to not do the things that that might come into your mind, that might be of a red signal, for example. Okay, so be honest at all times, even if there are cameras or no cameras. It shouldn't make a difference to you because you're doing the right thing all the time. Okay, let's move on. Very interesting. What kind of a driver are you? Very good question. Or a rider are you? Using of indicators, giving way to people if they want to pass by. No, we have to have our way. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I have to go first. That is the worst thing here in Goa, guys. You know, how much time are you really saving by just allowing a person to a few seconds, a fraction of a second? Okay, so especially if you see at the Margao circle where the lights have been put, yeah, people cannot wait. You know, the moment you've missed the green signal and you're waiting there, it takes, I've actually timed it, it takes maximum 1 minute 15 seconds. 1 minute 15 seconds for the light to turn green again. So where does the question come of not having patience for 1 minute, exactly 1 minute 15 seconds? But yet we are looking for alternative ways, we are blocking other traffic, and we're trying to get out of that red signal. So very important part of etiquette is the kind of driver or rider that you are on the road. It makes a big difference. Using your indicators, people use their indicators only when they come close to the junction where they are supposed to turn. Do you know how much before? I'm sure many of you have your license already. Do you know how much in advance you are supposed to put on your indicator before you turn? Anybody knows? How much in advance are you supposed to put on? Oh, I'm very sorry. Parth Kumar has replied to plagiarism. He says, which detects copy paste work. Very good. Thank you, Parth. Thank you very much. I just saw the message that's come in. Thank you for replying. That's absolutely right. Yeah. So many people, those who are indulging in plagiarism. Okay. So be careful about that. So please do not copy paste from the internet or from someone else's work because you can be caught doing that. Legally, it is not right, as I said. Okay. Thank you, Parth. So now, in advance are you supposed to put on your indicator before you actually reach the place where you turn? Give me in terms of meters. 500 meters, 300 meters, 600 meters, 100 meters. I'm sure all of you or many of you must be having your license today, right? So tell me, anyone? Someone has replied here. Okay, Chrissy says much before you take a turn. Very good, Chrissy. That's a very good answer. To be precise, okay, Chrissy, that's very good. I hope you're practicing it. But to be precise, does anybody know how many meters? It is 100 meters before you actually come to the turning. 100 to 150 meters before you actually come to the turning. Now you're going to say, ma'am, how do we know how much is 150 meters? Well, you are supposed to know it. You will have an idea of how much 150 meters is. You do it once, you figure it out, and then you will know it always. But as Chrissy has rightly said, much before you take a turn, not just. Okay, so as I was telling you, I wanted to give you an example of this particular point. There was this very famous singer from Goa who went to the doctor with his children. And while he was in with the doctor, his children were playing with all the toys that were left over there in the doctor's chamber. However, after he finished, he was walking out with his children, and the receptionist at the doctor's chamber told him, sir, if you don't mind, could your children please clear up all the toys that they were playing with? Because the doctor had kept a little place for children. And the singer got very annoyed and he started saying, who do you think we are? Are we here to clean up your doctor's chamber? You should get somebody else to do it, etc., etc. Now, the correct mannerisms, guys, is not only to clean up after children, but to clean up wherever you go. If you leave, and of course, it starts from home, yeah? So if you are like this at home, a messy person, you will continue being a messy person outside. So it has to start from home, right? So very important, clean up after kids. Communication with service people, people at the petrol pump, people at the supermarket. Very important to be polite and courteous with them. Yeah, they have tough jobs. Everybody has tough jobs. I'm not saying no. But we have to give them respect in order to gain respect. And the first thing we can do by giving them respect is talking to them in a proper manner. Can I be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. At restaurants, at ticket counters, please, guys, do not use that expression that that what we do. Please stop that. Yeah, it's a very bad habit. And if you want to call out to somebody, you say, "Excuse me," or "Could you come here a minute?" Or you go up to them. Or if you know their names, they're wearing badges, right? So you can see their names. So use the names if possible. But please stop that habit of whistling out to somebody or to call someone. It is very disrespectful. So anybody working in, see, you have been fortunate enough to get an education. They may not have been, right? But they are still working hard for their money. So it's important to show them a little bit of etiquette as well. Parking, aha, very important to have good parking etiquette, guys, because again, you need to be a good civil servant. Civil sense does not prevail in Goa at all. There is absolutely no consideration for other people. Look at some of the pictures that I'm going to show you right now. Sometimes, you feel like just putting a sticker on one of those vehicles and saying, you don't know how to park. I actually, I knew somebody who did that, and she had actually gone and she had printed the stickers, and she went and she wanted to go and put it on all those who have parked badly, saying, "You don't know how to park." Okay, it's again, etiquette is nothing but consideration for others. That's all it is. Look at this particular car. Everyone has done vertical parking. He has done horizontal parking. We see this so often in Goa, so often in Margao itself. Look at this. This is supposed to be a pavement for people to walk on. The person is walking on the road and the bikes are parked on the pavement. How do you like that? Sometimes we can see that the bikes have been parked in a particular manner. Still, we go and park it just as we like, get off the bike, take the keys and walk away. Guys, a little bit of etiquette, if we exercise, it will go a long way. We will show the same thing to our children and then our grandchildren and so on and so forth. Tell me in the next picture, what is wrong with this particular parking? Anyone? What is wrong with this particular parking? I'll show it to you again. Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. What's wrong with this car the way he has parked? Would someone like to unmute yourselves and speak, or you can type a message? Okay, Chrissy says
Ma'am,
the
it has
car
been
is not
wrongly parked in the parking plot.
wrongly parked. Okay, Anupriya, in the sense he has not parked in the between the lines, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Thank you, Anupriya. Wonderful answer. And Chrissy has also said the car is not parked in the parking area. Very good. So we know, thank you guys for responding. Very nice. So we know very clearly that these lines are parking areas. They are demarked, they are marked in advance so that you park in between these lines. We know that, and still we see people doing parking like this. I've seen people. And then absolutely no consideration for others. Now, the reason why it is done like this is for a reason, to accommodate as many cars as possible. But still some people are so inconsiderate and do not have the basic etiquette at all. So if we make a difference, if we start and if individually all of us do this collectively, then we can make a big difference and we can teach the ones who do not have the opportunity to go through this kind of a session. Holding the door. Can you tell me which one is correct? Do you hold the door for the person right behind you? Do you hold the door for all those behind you? Or do you hold the door for none of them behind you? So you don't bother to hold the door. Which one is correct? Let's consider A, B, and C. Okay, they are A, B, and C. So which one is correct? A, B, or C? Chrissy says B. Anyone else? Chrissy says for all those behind me. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? You agree or you disagree with Chrissy? Come on, guys, waiting for your answer. You can unmute yourselves and answer. You don't have to write in the box. Does everyone agree with Chrissy? Do you hold the door for everyone who's behind you? Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So come on, guys, I'm waiting for an answer. Quickly. No, no one wants to try? All right. Thank you, Chrissy, for your answer. But Chrissy, I don't really expect you all to be chowkidars, okay? To stand and hold the door for everyone behind you. Not necessary. At least for the person right behind you. Okay. But let's say there's an elderly person coming through, or a person who's got a lot of things in their hand, and their hands are occupied and they cannot really use the door. Yes, of course. But otherwise, you don't have to stand there and let all those behind you come in while you are holding the door. Not required. Just hold it enough for the person right behind you. That's more than enough. And then that person holds it for the next person behind them, and so on and so forth. Okay? Good try, Chrissy. I'm glad you answered, and I'm very thankful that you're answering so often. I would like others to answer as well, please. Okay, so very good. Public toilets, what do I do? Yeah, very often we are the ones who are making the mess. We are the ones who are doing the wrong things. And then we say, gee, that toilet is so dirty, don't go to the toilet. Okay. So please understand that, yes, of course, we have to use caution while using a public toilet. But then please try not to wet the area around. And if the toilet paper is over, make it a point to inform, especially in restaurants. Go and inform the concerned manager. See that the toilet paper is over in your toilet. Okay, that is the basic etiquette that you can do, rather than just keeping quiet and letting someone else make a mess. Because you might need to use the washroom again. You never know. Yeah. So try to keep public toilets clean as well, for the sake of others and for yourself as well. Okay. It's a big step. It's a huge way that we are left to go, but we can reach there if we just do it properly. Holding a line for someone, very often we do this very often here in Goa. We are already standing in the line, and then brother will come, or friend will come, or cousin will come. Aja, aja, khare ho ja. Everyone can stand, free for all. No, no, wrong thing to do. Okay, please understand that. It's disrespectful for the others, and it's of course the not the correct ethical thing to do as well. Okay. All right, very important. Now the cinema halls have opened. I don't think they've opened here in Goa. Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm not very sure whether cinema halls have been opened in Goa as yet, but I mean, they will open someday. So just a few things that we need to keep in mind. Please don't enter late. All right. It is very annoying to the people who are already sitting and watching the movie. I'm sure we experienced it as well. Yeah. If someone else does it, we go, oof, 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 we do it, right? But so please make sure that you do not enter late. Kicking the seat in front of you, not done. All right. Talking too loudly, absolutely no. Talking on the phone and SMSing, guys, not done in a cinema hall. In fact, many cinema halls, they show you at the beginning itself, they show you that please keep your phone on silent, or please do not SMS, because the sound and the bright light can be very annoying to the other viewers. Passing comments and littering the hall. Yeah, there are people who work very hard to clean up after you. So as far as possible, please learn to have good etiquette and keep the areas surrounding you as clean as possible. All right. And of course, grooming in public is not done, guys. Okay, especially combing your hair or adjusting your makeup, or doing what this guy is doing here, cutting his toenails or whatever it is. Grooming in public is not a good thing to do. If you really need to adjust your hair or comb your hair or whatever it is, you need to go to the washroom to do it. And of course, last but not the least is your Swachh Bharat. Okay, we talk so much about it, but in fact, my husband and myself were just having a discussion the other day, and he said, you see all these cars on the road, it is never a Goa registration car that will throw anything on the road. And then we went to the beach, and just that is what happened in front of us. A Goa registration car, somebody put their hand out and threw some chewing gum packet, I think it was, just flung it out of the car. So guys, it's very important. It's good etiquette. Look for the dustbin, search for an area, or if you don't find it, then take your garbage home and throw it in your own dustbin. Okay? Very important. All right, so we finished with social etiquette in public places, etc. Now we've come to corporate or business etiquette. Does anyone have any questions so far? So we're doing corporate etiquette. Okay, we're starting with very soon. You guys will be going into the corporate world. You might already be taking up jobs as well. So it's very important to follow the rules and regulations of the organization. We were going on about gossip. Okay, we said someone who gossips to you will one day gossip about you. All right, so please take note of that. It's a definite no. All right, definitely not something that you want to get into. It's also bad manners to be talking about the policies or about someone or about the office rules and regulations, etc. If you are disappointed with it, then do something about it. If you cannot, then stick on and don't gossip. All right, it's very important. Punctuality, we've already spoken about. Please take responsibility for your actions. If something goes wrong, and if you have made the mistake, own up, say you've made the mistake, and ensure that it doesn't happen again. Okay. Please make sure that you keep your workplace neat and tidy, as you will see in the picture. That's how your workplace should be at all times. It makes you a more organized person. It is good manners, and of course, it's respect for for someone else's space and the area. Okay. Cell phone on silent unless you need to keep it on loud mode or whatever it is. Save electricity. Learn to switch off fans, lights when not required. Work attire and grooming, very important. Okay. And maintain professionalism at all times. So make sure that you do not get close to anybody, as I've already mentioned, and make sure that you keep it professional at all points of time. Now, when we come to corporate etiquette, a very important part of corporate etiquette is the proper handshake. All right. Can I be heard? Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, anyone would ask, why is a handshake so important? A handshake is very important because it's a very important part of body language. It's a very important part of communication, and it is something that conveys a message to the other person who you're meeting. So, depending on the kind of handshake that you deliver, it will indicate whether you're nervous, whether you're confident, whether you're shy, whatever it is. Okay. So let us have a look at the different kinds of handshakes. The main thing is to keep in mind is the way you. Okay, so we were talking about the kind of handshakes. The one is the pull-in handshake. Okay, so someone goes to shake your hand, and what they're actually doing is pulling you closer to them. So please avoid this kind of handshake because it's very uncomfortable. Each one has their own personal space, and you cannot be pulling someone into your space. All right, so the pull-in handshake. The next is the bone crusher. Some people have the habit of squeezing the hand so hard that they actually hurt the other person. Okay, even if you're a big bodybuilder, guys, please be careful. You do not want to crush the other person's hand or squeeze it too hard. The next is the limp fish. This kind of shows that you're a very nervous person and you're very, that you can be dominated upon, etc. So it's a very clear example. Limp fish is there's no power, there's no punch in your handshake. You're giving a very feeble handshake. The next one is the never ending handshake. Yeah. Where someone just goes on shaking and shaking and shaking your hand and just never seems to come to an end. Also not to be done. And the last one is the two-handed handshake. Although this is something that we see very often, we always see politicians doing this actually, is to use both your hands to shake someone else's hand. Absolutely wrong. It is the wrong way to do a handshake. All right. So what is the correct way then basically? So the basic correct way is to make sure that the area between your thumb and your forefinger is called the web. Okay, the area between the thumb and the forefinger is called the web. Your web should connect with the other person's web. You know, the soft part that we're talking about, that should connect with the other person's web. Curl your fingers around in a very firm manner, not pressing but firm. And then you shake hands or you pump just thrice. 1, 2, 3, and leave. Okay, that's the correct handshake to be carried out. Very professional at all times and also good etiquette. Now we come to emails, a very important part of corporate etiquette. A few things that you should keep in mind that you should not do. Actually, email etiquette is a vast subject. There are a lot of points to be touched upon, but we are doing just very basics. Otherwise, we won't have time to finish all. Can I? Okay, so what are the don'ts in the emails? Just a few things to discuss. Please never type in uppercase, yeah, in capital letters. It comes across as very harsh, rude, and it also comes across as very blunt, like you're as though you're shouting at the person. Okay, so uppercase is to be avoided. If you want to emphasize a certain point, use bold or use underline it, but do not write in uppercase. Flaming is nothing but using fancy language in emails. Okay, again, keep it completely professional. Sending spam via email. Now, spam is all big, huge messages, or with large file attachments. Something that will basically spam the other person.
Well, now.
Okay. Can anyone tell me what ASAP stands for? Does anyone know what does ASAP stand for? Very good. Thank you, Leanne. It stands for as soon as possible. So there are certain acceptable short forms, ASAP. You can also find, if it's a professional email, you can also write PFA, please find attached. Okay. So there are certain short forms which are acceptable, but there are certain short forms which we use in SMSing, guys, which is absolutely wrong. Like short for K and talk to you later, TTYL, all those kind of things are not acceptable. So please avoid using abbreviations and short forms in emails, and they not be used at all. Okay, emails have to be the complete message. And of course, no usage of any smileys or emoticons or any of those are not to be used in email. Now, very quickly, we touch upon telephone etiquette. In telephone etiquette, I will focus more on cell phone etiquette because right now we are all into this technology today. We will focus a little bit on cell phone etiquette because that's what we are using very often now. Okay. So the first thing is to always seek permission before you attend a call. All right. So always make sure that wherever you are, whether it's meeting, whether it's in the office, whether it's even with friends, when you get a call, excuse yourself and move away from the person or the group to attend to your call. But always ask permission. If you don't mind, I'll just take this call. Yeah. Please speak softly when it comes to a volume. I know about people who will talk so loudly on a cell phone. They want the whole world to know what they are doing and how important they are. It's not required. You just need to speak softly. And if you do speak loudly, it is actually considered as bad manners. Already mentioned to you, keep your distance when you're making a call. Move away from the person or the group that you are talking to. It's good manners and it's also required. Please keep your business private. No one wants to know what you're talking or who you're talking to. So make sure you keep your business private. Keep your tone civil and pleasant at all times, especially when you're in the company of others. Unless, of course, there is something that you need to handle, you need to be a little firm, that's a different thing. But at all points of time, keep your tone civil and pleasant. Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There are certain timings where there is no cell phone. It is good manners to not have your cell phone on. Okay. Places. Can anybody tell me such places where it is required that you keep your cell phone either on silent mode or you switch it off? Come on, guys. Quickly, I want answers from you. Where are such places, or what places are these that we are talking about, where you are required to switch your phone off or keep it in silent mode? Cinema halls and important meetings, Leanne says. Okay, very good, Leanne. Excellent. Very good answer. Important meetings is crucial, absolutely crucial. Yeah. And you need to inform your family or whoever it is in advance that, look, I'm going to go in for a meeting. If there's anything urgent, please message me or whatever it is. Or don't call, try to avoid calling till I finish. Very good, Leanne. Anywhere else? Anywhere else, guys? Leanne has said cinema halls and important meetings. Where else?
Ma'am, ma'am, holy places like church, temple, or mosque.
Very good, Anupriya. Very good. Places of worship. Yeah. Sometimes you see people in church. I mean, I don't go to a temple. I go to a church. But even in spite of being told, you'll still hear their mobiles ringing and message sounds coming in, etc. So very good. Places of worship. Hospitals. Okay. Please make sure that you respect hospital guidelines and rules and regulations. Hospitals. Okay. When you go for interviews, when you go for interviews, the phone has to be completely switched off. Okay, so please respect the fact when you go out with friends. Okay, please respect the fact that there are certain places where there should be no cell phone. Okay, so just because technology has taken over our lives, it doesn't mean that we have to forget our mannerisms and our etiquette. Try to do one thing at a time when you're on the cell phone. It's very dangerous when you're driving and or riding and talking on the phone. I've seen boys and girls doing this, guys. It is not funny. And besides being good manners, it is also highly risky, not only for your life, but the people on the road as well. So please do not indulge in driving or riding and talking on the phone. Personal calls, of course, not in customer areas. Drive down and talk later. So beautiful picture you can see here on the screen. It says putting your phone away and paying attention to those talking to you. There's an app for that, and it's called Respect. Beautiful, right? Very well said and very well put. Okay, so remember that we cannot. The problem with us today is because we are advancing so much in technology that we are forgetting our basics and our root levels and our etiquettes and our mannerisms. All that is going out of the window. So beautifully said here, and keep this in mind next time you pick up the phone to do or to SMS something, and you're already in the presence of someone else. Yeah, we do this even with our families, guys. Yeah, with parents, with brothers, and sisters. It's become so much a habit that we think it's the right thing to do. All right, let's move on. Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Meeting etiquette. Now, we spoke about important meetings. Let's just run through what we need to do when we are called for meetings. Yeah, very soon when you'll be working, you'll be having meetings that are organized and scheduled very often. So the first thing is to make sure that you are dressed appropriately for a meeting. Guys, please understand the difference between formal, semi-formal, and informal. All right, it is very, very important. You cannot be semi-formal and informal in a place where you need to be completely formal. Okay, so when I mean completely formal, I mean a proper shirt, a tie for the boys with long, well ironed and neat and tidy trousers. For the ladies, it can be a skirt and a blouse, but a proper professional corporate blouse. You can also wear a blazer, not wear a blazer, that's up to you. If you want to wear Indian wear, then a proper formal salwar with your dupatta neatly kept at the side. Okay, so all these things are formal wear. Okay, please do not mix up informal and formal. So what you wear to friend's place or what you wear to go to a social function is not what you would wear for work. Okay, Punctuality, please make sure that you are before time for the meeting, well in advance, seated, having your notepads, papers, everything ready, your diary, whatever it is. Pay attention, listen to what the other person has to say. Ask questions only if you're asked to, or if you are not allowed to interrupt, then keep your questions for later. And adhere to break timings. That's very important. If they say 5 minutes break, make sure you come back in 5 minutes. Of course, we've already spoken about this. Answering calls or SMSs. Do not leave the meeting until it is officially over. If you have to go somewhere early, or you have to, let's say, meet a customer, you are supposed to inform in advance. So you're supposed to tell the person who's conducting the meeting, sir, madam, whatever it is, if you don't mind, I'd like to leave the meeting at so and so time because I have to go and meet a client or whatever it is, whatever the reason. So in advance, you cannot just suddenly walk out of the meeting. Now, if you're a presenter, like if you're presenting a PowerPoint or whatever it is, please make sure that you are there at least 20 minutes before the presentation begins. Check your presentation, check your screen, check your technology, make sure everything is in place. Do your sound check if you're showing videos, do a video check if the video is being projected properly. All this, it has to become a habit with you. Make sure that you are well prepared before you have the attendance of the meeting walking in. All right? Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And of course, always remember to provide feedback if asked for. Okay, so I think 1 minute. All right, we might just have a quick, we can run through dining etiquette. Now, the reason why we are doing this, guys, is tomorrow you might say, Arey ma'am, why so much formalities? Why so much formal? Why to be so formal? But it's not about being formal. It's about being caught on the wrong foot. And it has happened with me. Okay, and I never knew proper dining etiquette. You know, it's not about going to a fine dining restaurant. It's not about that. It's about having the basic things in place. And I never knew how much it would affect me until one day I got caught in it. So, you know, you never know. Your manager might tell you, see, we are going out with this client today. We're going to have a working lunch and you might have to go to a restaurant or whatever it is. So you should not be caught unawares and not knowing what to do. So that's the reason why we are discussing dining etiquette. So you must know the correct use of cutlery and crockery. Normally, it is you use a fork and a knife for everything. You try as much as it is very comfortable using your hands. I love to use my hands to eat. That's what I do on a Sunday. But the rest of the week, you must learn how to eat with a fork and a knife. Okay, that's the correct etiquette. What to put in your mouth, whether it's the fork or the knife, how to use it, how to hold it. We don't have enough time for all that, but you can find it plenty of videos available online, okay, to give you the correct method of holding a fork and a knife and etc. Please do not make a noise while eating. We already discussed that. No cell phone. If you want to be, if you have to take the call, excuse yourself, move away from the table, and then take your call. And always wait to be served. Okay, so the waiter knows that he will come and ask you, would you like me to serve? It is always good etiquette to say yes. Now, just remember one thing, this is a formal dining setup, okay? And can everyone see the screen and can hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, great. So if you look at a setup like this, you always start from the outside in. I'm just going to use a little bit of pointer here. So you always start from the outside inwards. So you always start, let's say, with the soup spoon, because that's what comes first, right? Soup spoon. Then you would have the salad. So the salad comes next. So you would use the salad fork. Okay, maybe there might be a salad knife. Okay. Then you would have a snack. So the snack, again, you can use a teaspoon or a fork, whatever it is. And then you move into the dinner knife and the dinner fork. So the idea of how it is placed is you move in from the outwards inwards. That's what you need to understand. So that's the kind of cutlery that you would use for the different kinds of um, courses that are being served to you on the plate. Always remember, always start from the outside and move inside. So your last meal is the main meal, and you'll be using your dinner fork and your dinner knife. All right. In terms of your plate, you will have the outermost plate, the big one, which is called the service plate. Now, sometimes you may not have the service plate. You can just have the napkin place, not the napkin. Sorry, the table mat. Okay, or you might just have directly the tablecloth. Besides that, you have the dinner plate, which is this one, and then you have the salad plate, which is this one. Okay, so the waiter will take care of this. You don't have to worry about it. But which spoon to use for what, that comes from outside in. Remember that. On the right hand side is always the liquids. So you'll have your water glass, you'll have your wine glass, you'll have your juice glass, whatever it is. And on the left hand side is your food items. So you normally have a bread and butter plate, etc. Okay. So always remember, right hand side is the glasses, is the beverages, and left hand side is the food item. Okay. And then of course you have your napkin and your cup and saucer again for tea or coffee. Okay, now using your napkin, it's very important to place the napkin on your lap after everyone has been seated. Please make sure that you use the napkin only to wipe your mouth and your fingers, nothing else. All right. So you fold the napkin this way, as is shown over here. Fold this napkin like this at the corner, and leave the other bigger part like this. Okay, and place it on your lap. Napkins, anyway, whether it's paper napkin or whether it's a cloth napkin, it is used for your lap. Okay, on your lap. It is never placed into the collar of your outfit. Never. You never place it into the collar of your outfit. That is wrong etiquette. The correct etiquette says you have to place it like this on your lap. And of course, when you leave it in your lap until everyone has finished. Okay. Please remember, in a restaurant, any restaurant for that matter, removing stuck food from your mouth is extremely bad manners. You need to go to the restroom and then do it if you realize that there is something stuck. Hair in your food, yes, it is annoying, but you're not supposed to make a big huge and cry about it. Call the waiter aside, tell him about it, and make sure the food is taken away. Please do not take care of all these things at a restaurant. Includes settling of hair, etc., combing of hair. All this cannot be done at the table. You need to go to the washroom and do it. And so on and so forth. I think the rest of it is something that we already know. We don't have to really get into it. Okay. Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to have a very quick questionnaire for you here, guys. Answer me if it is A, B, C, or D. Okay. I don't expect you to be right, but it's all right. You can just try at least. Okay. In the business arena, only men should stand for handshaking and all introductions. Only women should stand for handshaking and all introductions. C, it is not necessary for men or women to stand for handshaking. And D, both men and women should stand for handshaking and all introductions. Anyone can tell me which is correct in the business arena? Anyone? Here's the slide again. A, B, C, or D? Quickly, guys, come on. A, B, C, or D? Leanne says C. Delreen. Oh, nice to hear from a new person. Delreen says D. Okay, anybody else before I reveal the right answer? Okay, now don't feel bad about being wrong, okay? You're all here to be learning, so it's perfectly all right. The correct answer is D, okay? In the business section, okay, the business in the corporate world, you do not go by the sex of the person, whether it's a boy, I'm sorry, whether it's a male or a female or whoever it is, whether it's a man or woman, whatever. You go by the designations basically. So when it comes to gender, gender does not matter in the business arena. So both men and women have to stand for handshaking and all introductions. All right. For easy reading, one's name badge should be worn on the left shoulder, the right shoulder, the left hip, or around one's neck. A, B, C, or D. A, B, C, or D. Quickly, guys. Okay, Chrissy says A. Delreen says A. Gaurav says A. Nice to hear from you guys. Leanne says A. All right, now I'm going to tell you one thing is that although it is said A, the correct answer is actually on the right shoulder. Yeah, very often we see people wearing it on the left, but the correct is actually on the right shoulder because that's what really hits the person's eye when the person comes in contact with you. All right, you notice that the next time it happens. So it's actually the right shoulder. Yeah, many of us say left because that's what we normally do. All right, question 3. The best way to meet people at a business or a social function is to head for the bar or the buffet immediately upon arrival. B. Introduce yourself to two people who are standing close and talking softly. C. Look confident standing in the center of the room and wait for someone to approach you. Or D. Introduce yourself to a person standing alone. Question 3. A, B, C, or D. Any answers? Delreen, that answer that you've given, is it for this question? Is it for question 3? All right, Delreen says D. Anybody else? Okay, I'll have to go a little quicker. So the correct answer is actually look confident, standing in the center of the room and wait for someone to approach you. Okay. Yes, I know D would be the most comfortable thing to do, would to go and check out a person who's standing alone and go and introduce yourself to them. But the correct etiquette is to give people their space and let them approach you. So the host or the host's family or whoever it is should come forward and approach you and then introduce you to everybody, etc., etc. Is that clear? Okay, so C is actually the correct answer. Question 4, when you are dining with someone important and your cell phone rings. Now, when we talk about someone important, we are referring to the business arena, the corporate sector. Answer it within 2 rings and keep the call brief. B, ignore it and pretend that someone else's phone is ringing. C, apologize and turn the phone on silent mode. The person you're with. Any answers quickly to question 4? Come on, quickly, guys. Okay, someone has answered. Okay, Chrissy says D, Delreen and Leanne say C. The correct answer is C. I told you that the person that you're with takes priority. Look at the question. You are with someone important, guys. And of course, until and unless the phone that you're, the call that you're getting, unless and until it is on priority, then only you do D. Okay, D for Delhi. But until and unless it is not important, you need to turn the phone on silent mode and pay attention to the person that you're with, because that person takes priority. Please remember this at all points of time. Okay, we're going to just skip this because we don't have enough time. I might need to take 2 minutes more of your time, guys. Not 2 minutes more, maybe about 15 minutes more of your time. Please be patient. You have been very patient. So I just ask you to bear with me for the last topic for today. Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we doing is grooming, okay, corporate grooming and corporate etiquette in terms of dressing. Now, as you see the screen, there are very few times in our life when it isn't too melodramatic to say that your destiny hangs on the impression that you make. And one of the important ways to make an impression is to dress well. That is the first impression that you make on a person. So please understand what is dressing sense, okay? If you see, I told you, it's very important to know what is formal, semi-formal, and informal. So the first one is used for corporate culture. The second one is used depending on the discretion of the management, okay? Or let's say a semi-formal party. And informal is where you would use for your friends and your picnics and your outings and your discotheques and your whatever, family outings. You guys have really been patient, and I appreciate all 23 of you here who are still here with us. Congratulations to you all. You guys have really been really good. All right, so thank you so much. All right, coming back to dressing sense, I do believe you can see my screen as well. Please understand for ladies, okay? Please make sure that you wear conservative colors. Conservative colors in the sense, colors that go with the organization. So not your bright reds or pinks or greens or yellows. Yeah, you've got to keep it subtle. You've got to keep it pastel colors, matching blazer and skirt or pants. Okay, or you could have Indian formals, which is saris or salwars, or you could even wear a dress with a blazer. But the dress has to be self-colored as well. No flowery dresses or polka dots or anything like that. Okay. If you're wearing skirts and blazers, please make sure that your skirt is below your knees or on the knee. Yeah. You don't want your skirt being too short. Please avoid wearing tight clothing. I have seen candidates coming for interviews wearing extremely tight clothing, and it is very distracting, guys. So please do not do that. If you're comfortable walking in high heels, fine. If not, your shoes should be low heeled, but proper closed shoes if you're wearing Western formals, and a decent pair of sandals, with little heel if you're wearing Indian formals, okay? Makeup should be minimal. Please don't come with gaudy colored lipsticks and eyeshadows and all that stuff. All not required, okay? You just want to have a simple lipstick, maybe an eyeliner, a kajal, and that's about it, and a compact. Don't overdo it when you're going into the corporate sector. And that's it for the ladies, okay? For the gentlemen, again, please wear conservative colors. Please make sure that your shirts are not very bright colors. Please do not wear printed shirts like prints, flower prints, etc. Your print can be either stripes, definitely not checks. Okay, we do not wear checks for formal dressing for men. Okay, so no checks. The tie should complement the color of the shirt. So not a very contrasting color. I've seen guys coming for interviews with purple colored shirts and things like that. Please not into that. Light purple is fine. Pastel colors are fine, but not bright gaudy colors. Okay. Please make sure that if you're wearing a suit, that it is well ironed and well clean, dry clean, and pants should be proper trousers right down to your ankles. If you see the picture, you will see how the trouser is resting on the shoes. It is not, I've seen now the new fashion is that you wear your pants it's a little shorter than the shoes, and you can actually see your socks and things like that. That's not the correct proper dressing etiquette. Okay, so please make sure that they are long enough to reach or just about touch your shoes. Okay, can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So also remember that for gentlemen, your belt has to match your shoes. So if it's a brown belt, it's brown shoes, black belt, your black shoes. All right. If you have a beard or a mustache, I know that's very much in fashion today. That's fine. That's okay. Depending on your company rules, you may or may not allow to be kept to own one. But if you are okay having a beard or mustache, please make sure that you keep it clean, neatly trimmed at all times. If you guys have any visible body part piercings or tattoos, please make sure that they are kept hidden, okay, when you are at work, because that is the unprofessional thing to do. There's nothing wrong in having tattoos, okay, but it should not be visible during your working life. All right. So very quickly, which is appropriate? Let's say if I'm talking about the corporate sector. Is it A, B, or C? Quickly, quickly. Please unmute yourselves and say it now. A, B, or C? Very good, Leanne. Obviously, it is A. Okay, thank you for answering. Which is inappropriate? A, B, or C? Inappropriate.
C.
Very good. Who was that who answered?
Anupriya.
Okay, Anupriya, C and? Is it only C that is inappropriate?
Ma'am, C and A.
C and A. Very good. Who was that who answered? Okay. Anyway, now the reason why A is inappropriate is because it has polka dots. Now, polka dots is not an acceptable print for formal wear. All right. So please understand what is inappropriate is A and C. Very good. Which is appropriate? Appropriate.
Ma'am, D.
B for Bombay or D for Delhi?
D for Delhi.
All right, very good. So D for Delhi is the only one that is appropriate. Very good. Thank you for that input. Which is inappropriate? Inappropriate. Anyone? Gaurav, did you answer to this question? Inappropriate? Gaurav, Chrissy? Okay, so you're absolutely right. B is inappropriate, and C is also, because these are like cloth shoes, okay? So this and this, so you're not supposed to be wearing this for formal wear, okay? This is the correct kind of shoes that you should be wearing, all right? Again, open sandals would be okay if you're wearing a formal salwar, but also then it should not be this kind of a sandals. It should be little heel and something that looks very classy. Which is inappropriate? inappropriate? Which is inappropriate? Quickly, guys. Delreen says B and C. Anybody else? Only C? Okay, guys, what is inappropriate? I'm talking about work wear, formal wear. Definitely not B. So, oh, I'm sorry. The question is which is appropriate. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Sorry. My complete apologies. So the answer is correct. It is C. Okay. It is only C. C is the one which is correct. It is appropriate for office wear. Okay. Definitely not D. Definitely not B. B for Bombay, and definitely not A. All right. Even we would say even during rains, guys, we have this habit of wearing rain shoes. That's fine. It's okay. Yeah, because we have very heavy rain. But you always must carry your office shoes in your bag and change them when you reach the office. Okay, so it is clear. Once you're in the office, you will not be roaming about. Then you can change into your appropriate shoes for work. Okay, this was the last one. It was online etiquette. Very quickly, we're going to finish this and then we are done with our session. I would like to appreciate all of you because the first thing is that you were all on time. Okay, so congratulations where that is concerned. And for all other online sessions, please make sure that you are on time. If you see the amount of trouble we had with connectivity, so you might have that problem right at the beginning itself. So it's always good to be on time and make sure that your internet is connected, etc. Okay, can I be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The second thing is to wear the proper attire. And guys, you all know, please make sure that your proper attire is from head to toe. Yeah, because suddenly if you have to get up and go away and you have to put on the camera, you never know when you will be caught unawares. So please make sure that your proper attire is from head till toe. Okay. Choose a good location. That is very important. Somewhere where you get good connection, where there is less noise, etc., etc. Follow the instructions and participate. That is very crucial. So congratulations to all those who have participated. It makes a big difference to the presenter, to your lecturer, and it makes a big difference to you as well because it clearly shows that you are listening. And believe me, my opinion about you. Okay, I was at point number 4. I want to say it again just in case you guys have not heard. But I just want to be very it's very important that you do participate on an online session, whatever your session might be. Okay, because if you don't participate, it becomes boring for you as well as for the presenter. And that's a very important part to overcome point number 6. You are only able to give your full and focused intention. One is, it's difficult, I'm not saying no, but one of the ways you can do it is by participating, by answering, by giving your opinion, by giving your feedback, etc. Okay, do not dominate the discussion. Okay, sometimes you need to give others a chance as well. Do ask questions. I've given you the liberty to do that, to ask me questions. But on some online sessions, they might ask you to keep your questions for later. So please go ahead and follow the required instructions. And please be very careful with your words, because the last point rather, be careful with your words, because over here you cannot be seen. Yeah, mostly you cannot be seen. So the way you pronounce your words and the way you talk online, it makes a big difference. Okay, because your tone of your voice and the way you say something, it all has a very big impact on what you want to say. So please be careful with the words that you use. And even in the message box, right, you might be wanting to say something in a particular way, but it may come across as rude, or it may come across as a little harsh. So always be careful with your words, especially on an online session. Can I still be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, bear with me. This is the last slide, and I want to share it with you because it is a beautiful message, and then I'm done with my session. Now, I'm really very important that everybody should hear this, okay? Because this is like what makes all the difference. So when we say when we talk about making the change, we talk about being different from what we are and making a change for the better so that it will benefit ourselves to the best of our abilities and it will benefit our career as well. So when I say make the change, I want to tell you a small story about how monkeys are caught. How do we catch a monkey? Now this is a true fact. Okay, this is actually happening today. Can I be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what happens is the monkey is put out, is outside, right? And inside a cage, there are some peanuts that are put into the cage. Okay, can you see? The man is putting some peanuts into a cage. Now have a look at the cage. Okay, you can see how small the squares are. So what happens is the monkey puts his hand is empty, right? So his hand fits inside the square of the cage and he goes to grab the peanuts. But the moment he grabs the peanuts, he then forms a fist. Once the fist is formed, he cannot remove his hand from the cage. Why? Because now the hole is too small to fit the fist. Can I be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great. I'm asking you again and again because it's important that you get this message. So now the monkey is trapped. Yeah, his hand is trapped inside the cage. He can't take it out. Now he has a choice. He either lets go of the nuts and removes his hand easily, or he can continue holding the nuts by forming a fist and he will get caught. That's the same question I have for you guys today. You can continue holding on to all your old ideas and values and practices, and you will get caught just like the monkey. You will not be able to proceed forward in life. But if you just let go of your old ideas and the ideas which were not working for you, and if you grasp these new concepts that we have spoken about, it will set you free. And you will be able to go ahead in life and make the change that you want to see. As I told you, today's corporate life is looking for those qualities over and above your certificates and your degrees. So it has to be an equal balance of both. So until and unless you can create this niche for yourself, you will always be captured and you will always remain where you are. So I want to wish each one of you all the very best. Don't get caught in the monkey trap and make sure that you move forward in life. Thank you very much to all those who have been so patient. I sincerely apologize for my internet connection. It's really not in my hands, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being so patient and waiting till the end of this session. I'm rest assured that it will definitely give you benefits if you allow it to. Yeah, if you allow it to. Sometimes we just want to carry on the way we are, but sometimes if you allow it to, I'm sure it will help you to reap a lot of benefits. So I'll end here and thank you, Marzina and Preti, for your cooperation and for being present throughout the session. And yes, it was very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for highlighting on the importance of etiquettes. And I'm sure the students will practice these etiquettes in their daily life. Students, if you all have any questions, you can ask ma'am. You can post the questions in the chat box or you can unmute and ask.
Yes, you can do that. Or if you feel that you're a little awkward, you can even take my number from ma'am and you can give me a call if you want to ask me something separately. But I would encourage, if you can do it here now itself, it would be nice. It would be for the benefit of others as well.
Any questions, students? Okay, I think they have no questions, ma'am. They have understood it well.
I hope.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Students, please note, yeah, the feedback link is pasted in the chat box here. Your attendance will be counted on the basis of the feedback. Okay, so please fill in the feedback form. I now request Ms. Anupriya Achari to propose the vote of thanks.
Ma'am, am I audible to all?
Very much, Anupriya.
Okay. I, Miss Anupriya Achari, on behalf of my college, extend a hearty thanks to our resource person, Miss Caroline Stewart Silva, for such a wonderful session. Today, we had an opportunity to learn about etiquettes and will surely be useful to us in our daily lives. I would also like to thank our principal and teachers for giving us this opportunity. And lastly, a big thank you to the audience for attending this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Anupriya. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Marzina, and thanks to all of you. All the very best for your
Have
future.
a nice day, everyone.
Yes, and have a great day. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Stay safe.